This is a quote that I really like. Our hitters know it. Those who hit often hit often. Our hitters are obsessed with hitting. Our cages are 24/7 for them. They're in there pretty much every day, starting at 8 a.m., going until we start practice. Guys are going in around class schedules, things like that, for about 45 minutes to an hour to do their tee work, do their routines with their flips, and then get into some cage work, right? And it's important that we give them a plan that they understand how to execute. I think the best hitters on our team, if you look at it, are the guys who are in the cages the most. You look at who's going to play for us 1 through 9, there are 9 hardest workers. So it's developing that mentality and approach like Mac talked about where, we're coming here to work, and at the end of the day, the time we put in the cage so we can execute on the field, the better hitters we're going to become. This is the basics of our approach. Mac talked about, living in the middle of the field, right? Understanding this is a crucial part of our development. I'm going to talk a lot and use the word direction a lot. I think direction, especially when we get hitters from any level, whether it's a transfer from the portal, junior college kid, or high school kid, struggle to stay through the middle of the field. We get a lot of guys who spin off. We get a lot of guys who hook baseballs, right? So we're trying to develop the understanding of being able to live in the middle of the field. We want to lead the country in doubles. We're 13th in the country last year with 131. We want to continue to climb that. So for us, it's about setting our sights and understanding our timing. So our timing windows, we're going to live in the opposite gap timing with our fastballs. If we can do that, we're going to maximize our ability to stay in the hitting zone, stay on time, and give us margin for error. We want to provide our guys with the largest margin for error possible. What that also creates is the ability to stay on a breaking ball rather than spin it foul. So we want to be able to drive the baseball through the center, and we get a breaking ball, we can get extended to the pull side. But if we're cheating to a fastball all the time, playing to the pull side, it's going to be hard for us when spin happens. Ryan and I had a conversation with one of our hitters this morning just about right now, he's really easy to pitch because he's selling out with a big hack to the pull side. And we need to control it to get back to the middle of the field because right now you can spin him easy. And we showed him some of the heat maps that we have and show where swing and miss and chases, and it's going to come from spin away. This is our batted balls from last year. So look, I'm saying we're on time for the backside gap, right? That doesn't mean every fastball we're going to hit right there. If we get a cookie to swing and go pull side with, we're going to pull side with it, right? But that's just a kind of a graphic to show where our approach plays. We're going to stay through the middle of the field so we can own our alleys and ultimately create doubles, get on base at a high level, and create backspin. This is our 3-ball peanut. This is a great visual for hitters. We utilize this during batting practice. We'll break it out. It's one of the most important things you have to teach. So for us, this is our do damage zone. This is where we're looking, it's my pitch. We're trying to do damage and advantage count when we know we're getting fastball. Where am I looking for the pitch, right? And it's funny, some guys think they have one zone that they're looking for when in reality they don't. We had a hitter who, we do it for the first day, he sets it up middle in, and he's top spinning every ball to pull side. We set it out, and now he's backspinning balls out of the ballpark in the opposite field because really he needs to be able to get extended on, right? And I think a lot of guys, when you look at it, they're all going to be out towards the center of the plate because we need to be able to get extended. So for us, being able to utilize this visual for guys to understand and learn, okay, in this round of BP, we're getting our A swing off, this is an advantage count, we're on time for the fastball, and we're going to let go, but we're only looking here. And it gives a good visual east and west, right? But we also need to understand it's up and down too. For some guys, their swing, it might be on their peanut, but it's not going to play up in the zone. We need to look for it down. So it's just starting to understand those different zones to hit from that we can do damage with. Our 5-ball peanut, this is what we hit with outside of, our 3-ball peanut rounds. It's covering the heart of the plate, right? This is when you go runner in scoring position, it's 1 strike, we're trying to make action happen. We want to make action happen on fastball early, so we're covering the heart, we're eliminating black. I think we have to eliminate the black. It's a challenging pitch to hit, right? It's a challenging pitch to get extended on and be on time for. So for us, it's just being able to slow it down, visualize it. That's the other plate we have set up in the cages. One thing I learned last year was your hitters aren't going to break out the peanuts on your own, so you kind of got to paint the plates for them so they can have that visual in the cages too. So, we're just getting ready to hit, being on time for a fastball in these counts right here. And for us, the timing's important, right? We're always on fastball timing. I showed you the graphic earlier. We're never sitting breaking ball. We're always on time for the fastball and its reaction to spin. And when it comes to the reaction to spin, we want to be, I talk about a wave, right? So we see the wave. If I'm surfing, I want to try, I've never surfed, so I could have this analogy wrong, but this is what our hitters get. So you're trying to read the wave before it gets to the peak. If we can read the wave before it gets to the peak, it's going to be hung out up at the top of the zone that we can go on. Now we're looking over our 5-ball peanut for a pitch that we can get extended on. And then if we see the wave start at the peak, we're shutting it down because now we're looking at breaking balls at the bottom of the zone. And if I want us to chase, I want us to chase spin up. So we're working our visuals, and you're going to see a video later with some breaking ball stuff so you have a better idea of what that's looking like for us. Our routines, to me, are a cornerstone of what we work on mechanically. I want to eliminate the mindless tee, the mindless flips. I think that's useless time when we hit. So for us, it's maximizing our time and having a plan. Every single one of our hitters has their own routine. Every single one of our hitters executes it on a daily basis because they know it's one of the most important things that they have. So for us, it's very handcrafted. We collaborate on it. We collaborate with hitters on it to help develop it. This is how we develop it, right? So we're trying to evaluate. The new guys always come in and they say, all right, what can I work on after day 1 of BP in Indies? And it's like, we're not addressing anything today. It takes a period of time with evaluation. We're looking at minimum 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks to about a month of just seeing things, right? We want to see their strengths. We want to see their weaknesses. We want to see what flaws continue to come up. There are certain things that, might not look pretty, but it works. So we want to see what they do well, what challenges them, and how we can adjust it and go off of that. We use video a lot. We're fortunate to have video at the field with the Aware camera setup, but we're going to utilize our cell phones in the cages all the time. My phone is full of just videos of our hitters. I don't have a great personal life, so it's just all of our guys and, all their swings. So the next part is we want to collaborate. Some drills work for others and some don't, right? So we need to know that. If the top hand drill works for a guy, great. It might not work for the next guy, so we need to still address the top hand. Well, how do I do that? What's the next drill? But I can't know that if we don't have those conversations. So we need to understand what they're thinking, what they think they need to attack, what are some things. They take different lessons with guys, they come from different programs, they like certain drills. Well, why do you like those drills? Why do you do it? You have those conversations and you get a really good idea of them, and then you can adjust off of that rather than trying to give them drills and force them to do it. I think having the collaboration piece is one of the most important things that we can do with our hitters, because you need to get them on board with creating their routine. Because if they don't get a say in it, if they don't think it works for them, they're not going to do it. So you need to find something that works for them, have the conversations to see how it works for them, and go from there. Their strengths have to be highlighted in it. We attack a lot of the weaknesses, but the strengths have to be highlighted. It's a strength of theirs for a reason. They've probably worked on it for 2, 3, 4, 5+ years. So we need to be able to give them their strengths and let them showcase it and work on it. If I got a guy with really good bat speed, we're gonna use the underload trainer. We're gonna really let his bat speed play. We're gonna let him show it off a little bit. So it's just working different things in to showcase their abilities and their strengths and not just highlight their weaknesses. I do think, though, that attacking weaknesses in a routine is one of the most important pieces. You look at our hitters, and our returning guys have had their routines for a year since we got there, right? So they've changed over time, they've adjusted over time. But there's still staple drills because those are big areas of emphasis for us. So for them, you watch their progression through their swing over the course of when they got to campus last August and where we are today. And you see significant improvements because of the compound effect at the end of the day, right? If you stack days, you do it every day for the next year, you're ultimately going to turn a deficit into a strength. So we want to be able to attack it every day using different drills, different constraints. We'll use short bats, we'll use the core velocity belt, we'll use weighted bats, we'll use plows, we'll use all these different things as constraints to help build them. But then we also use drills like the top hand drill and bottom hand drill, right? So we're going to attack their deficits with a wide variety of drills that are designed for each and every one of them to help them get better. And at the end of the day, it has to be individual. Every single one of our hitters, and you're going to see examples of 3 of our returning hitters' routines in a second, but it has to be tailored to them. Every guy is different, whether it's a swing flaw, the way their body moves, the way their timing works. Everyone is different, and we have to treat it that way. I think cookie cutter is the greatest sin out there. If we want to take the easy way out, you're not going to get your players to buy into having a routine and the importance of it. I think that this is so important that we have to invest our time into it. Players love accessibility, right? And I understand my job, I get to sit at the stadium all day and they know where I am. But they also know that they can text me at 11 o'clock at night and they're probably getting an answer, right? For them, it's about knowing you're there for them, you're going to help them through stuff, and you're going to help guide them. So I know for me, I'm there, but for you guys who might be in a classroom, have another job, but it's the accessibility to get to you that helps go a long way with developing routines. These are 3 individual T routines here. These are 3, we have a right-handed hitter, and then a left-handed hitter who throws right. Okay, so these are some of the drills that they do during T work. If you look at player A, it's path focused. All the drills that are in his routine revolve around his bat path. You look at player B, it's more hand and posture focused, right? So we're giving him a constraint to work with a short bat on a low T. We're getting good posture, having good hands, things like that. And then you got player C, who's the guy I said that's left-right, and he has a hand, and then it's a strength-focused T routine. So he's really good at the backside T, he's really good at the inside T, those are some of his strengths. And then we're attacking the left-right deficit with top hand. If you have a left-handed hitter, right-handed thrower, right-handed hitter, left-handed thrower, the top hand drill is the most important drill that they can have. The reason being is there's a significant deficit with their top hand strength. So being able to attack it utilizing the top hand drill or the split grip drill to attack their top hand is massive. Every single one of our lefty-righties, righty-lefties do the top hand drill. Most of them do the split grip drill as well to just focus on the hand path and their direction while strengthening that non-throwing shoulder or that throwing shoulder. You get into the individual flips, and it's similar, right? So you got player A, it's path and posture focused, right? So you got the step-up drill, that's more posture-based. Overload, underload, we're working on direction and path right there with him, but he also has really good bat speed. So it's fun for him when he gets to swing the underload bat because he's moving that thing really fast. Split grip, offset. So those are working hand and directional things with his path right there. You got player B, you're focusing on the hand again and posture and the lower half. You look at the top of his drills and they're more hand focused. You look at the bottom between Hook'em and Flamingo and those are 3 drills to attack his lower half, and then we end it with the offset right there as well. And then you got player C, who we're really attacking his hands and his direction. So for him, the ability to turn tight with split stance is important for him. Top hand again, attacking his deficit right there, and then you throw the split grip onto that as well. So I got some drills up here that I'm going to show you. This is the fungo drill. So this drill is great. Mac's the one who really pushed me to start incorporating this, and I think it's a great drill because it's focusing on having good tight turns, getting extended through the baseball, and having barrel control. And you see we have him using 2 different bats. He's got a metal fungo in his on the left video, and he's got his regular bat on the right. So what he's doing is trying to control different weights, keeping the hands tight and the barrel through the zone. We taped the metal fungo because I want him to understand on that bat where the barrel is. I don't want us just mindlessly flipping with it and catching it off the end or catching it too deep. I want us to try and attack the barrel and be able to control it in this drill. You got the split grip right here. Oh, there we go. So this is attacking the top hand deficit. This is the ability for him now to have good direction. I think this is a great drill. We utilize it a lot. If you look at the flips that are going on in this video, we're going to mix it in, out, middle. Because I want to be able to teach his hands to have adjustability with his turn and have good direction and extension through the baseball. I think that this is a staple, especially if guys struggle with the top hand drill. I think the top hand drill is a very delicate drill that if they don't control it very well and have a consistent hand path with it, it can lead to deficits. This allows for a little bit more control. He's able to turn his top hand and extend through the baseball. This is our weighted bat series, all right? I think that this is probably where there's a lot of variation that goes on with it, all right? To me, when we use the weighted bat series, the bat speed training piece is the gravy on top. We need to control how to move the barrel. I see a lot of videos on Twitter and Instagram of people doing drills like this, and it's a lot of out of control, spin to the pull side, and we're just creating hook swings, right? For us, we're trying to control the body while moving fast. We're trying to control the barrel through the middle of the field. So if you watch, he's swinging everything right through center. He's going to lift some balls to the pull side gap, but we're not hooking it towards the foul line. We're just living through the middle, staying under control, focusing on having the barrel in there for a long period of time while moving the bat fast. Videos don't want to play. Here we go. This is offset. You're going to see it in a BP form later, but this is a drill that just about every single one of our hitters does. The way we attack it, this is more to attack depth and staying behind the baseball. So we're trying to send the ball back to where it came from. So we're trying to get extended right back to the machine, let the barrel follow the baseball, having good turns, and be able to use the backside. So our sights for this is through the middle of the cage to the backside, and then certain guys will progress into the onset drill. I think this is a drill that is very hand selective. I don't want to give this to a guy who spins off and hooks a lot, right? Because essentially we're coming right from behind him with the flip. So if he's a guy who spins off and hooks, it's just really going to encourage him to spin off and hook. But that's also partially why it always follows the offset drill. The offset drill always comes first because we need to feel our body in control. We need to feel our hands in control before we get into the onset, where we're just focusing on good tight turns and getting to the pull side in an efficient way. All right, so it's focusing on just getting the head out with direction through the middle. We don't want our guys' directions to completely change when it goes to the pull side. We want to be able to backspin in the pull side gap, so we're going to train it with certain guys how to be efficient when they do it. This is the step-up drill. I think this is a great drill. Coach Bello brought this with him from Troy and Auburn, and I love this drill a lot now, honestly. This drill is really good for posture and getting into a good position to hit. It's going to force our hips to get into an angle that we create a window for our hands and our back to go through, versus getting upright and spinning off. So we're focusing really driving into the back leg, getting down in a good posture, and creating an angle for our bat to get through. Right, I always, when we introduce this, we started on the tee. I want guys to feel comfortable with moving that way with the stationary ball first. We're going to repeat the movements, get into good positions at first, make sure we're going to do it over and over again, and then we're going to get into flips with it. So he has it as part of both his tee routine and his flip routine every day. I will tell you this, when you're doing flips, it's going to be a good flipper because it's a lot of movement for them and it'll tax them pretty quickly if it's a round of 15 with the step-up drill here. This is the hook 'em drill. So this is really good for being able to control our lower half and the forward move. So we want to just focus on driving our weight through the back foot, creating separation. Notice when the foot gets down, the hands are still in a good high punching position. So we're going to focus on just moving slow, under controlled, getting into a balanced position to hit from, and then firing. You know, this is a really good drill for guys who start to leak and drift, because it's going to force them to start to move their bodies a little bit more under control. This is the board drill. You can do this with, he's got a short bat between his legs, you can use a 2x4. I think this is a really good drill for a guy who spins off with his hips, his front hip leaks, he struggles to block behind his front hip, so it's going to force us to stay in good posture the entire time and control our hips and deliver them through the center of the field. You know, you can do this on tee, you can do this on flips. I think it's a valuable drill, especially early on. He's progressed actually to just kind of holding his feet in place and doing the swing without the bat. But when you're doing this drill, you want to focus on squeezing the bat in between your feet or the board in between your feet, so now it doesn't slip out of place because our feet are moving. We want to make sure our hips are staying tight and returning behind our front side. All right, now we're going to get into some of the forms of BP. We're going to use machine in all these. These can be thrown. These all can be thrown. You can do them in flips like you saw with offset. This is our offset BP. So we're going to have our guys hit from just, the machine's coming from just about right off the third baseline. So we're putting a pretty steep angle at them with this pitch, but we're forcing them to have depth and stay behind the baseball to the backside of the field, right? And it teaches guys that, okay, if we're able to backspin it to the backside, I have some juice here, I'm going to be able to control the barrel efficiently, and now I'm going to be able to ultimately use the entire field. I think it teaches guys how to use the entire field at a really high level. This is a really good drill. You can do it in the cage if you don't have that much space. You can do it out on the field as part of your practice. This day, it was during indies, so we had righties and lefties in the group. We try and put lefties in one group, righties in the other, just so if you gotta move the machine around or the BP setup around, you can move the BP or machine setup around. This is mixed BP, so we set up 2 machines. We have the tall one, it's on buckets. That's throwing right-handed sliders, and then the bottom one's throwing fastballs. I think there's a lot of variety that we can have in this drill. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. So when we're doing it, we usually start off fastball round, curveball round, fastball round, curveball round, and then we start to change it up after that. We're always trying to teach our guys, stay on fastball timing and adjust, but now it's teaching us how to do it in space. And you can incorporate different types of situations in each drill. Like the first round of the fastballs, this right here is mixed, but the first round of the fastballs, he's in a backside round. So he's trying to say everything to the backside. And then you've got the breaking ball round where we were more towards the middle of the field. So you can do a different variety each time you do this. The last round we go a little bit more randomized. So we got 2 balls being fed at, we're not putting both in at once, but we're showing them and then we're dropping in the other one. So for us, this is a really good drill to make sure we're on fastball timing and then working on hitting spin on the field as well. Two-plate spin. This is, to me, a really good drill. We're able to utilize this a lot, and I think it teaches our guys different approaches when it comes to spins. The front plate here is less than 2 strikes. This is when we're hunting a hanger. This is when it's okay if we chase up, right? Because we're looking for something before the wave gets to its peak and out over the middle of the plate, right? Versus we get to the back plate and now we're in 2 strikes. So we're going 2-strike approach. The thing I like about the back plate, and you want to kind of get to a distance and a height that works, that's kind of at the bottom of the zone, but it's going to force you to spit. It's going to force you to take balls, right? So the first one, when he gets the back plate, is a ball down, and then the second one's more up at his knees. So a little bit of variety from a height standpoint, a little bit of variety from an approach standpoint, I think is really important when it comes to teaching our guys how to hit spin and do it efficiently, right? And understanding the approach at the end of the day. If you don't have a plan, it's going to be tough to hit. So being able to recognize C-spin up and less than 2-strike count and being able to train it is very important. This and the mixed BP are things you can do if you don't have a machine and just have an arm. I mean, the other day I was throwing mixed BP in the cages to some of our hitters, right? Because I've developed my slider a little bit better than it once was, and now I can spin a little bit and still throw with a little bit of ride. So, it's good when you can mix in variety to their practice, and it's not just, we're just hitting straight up fastballs every day. Lastly, this is our 3-plate drill. I love this drill. When I worked back at Misericordia, my head coach used to have our guys do this with a thunder stick on 90, and if you know what the thunder sticks are like, that hurts, so we don't do the thunder stick here, but he's a really good coach, and he creates some really good hitters with it. But this is where we are really focusing on adjusting our timing, right? So for us, this specific day, we were using the Marv balls to lessen the blow because we got that front plate a little tight for them because we wanted them to start on time and early with velo. So for us, you can do it in a variety of different ways. You can go 2-2-2. We like to go 1-1-1, and then you work back 1 each as well. So you can do it in a variety of different ways, and it's going to force you to learn how to start on time, how to adjust when we start and when we get down, as the velocities change. So this to me is a staple drill. I think this is a drill that everyone should implement because at the end of the day, timing is a choice and our guys need to learn how to decide on timing, right? And timing is a vital piece of hitting. So when we can train the timing components, it's really important, and this is a great drill to do it with. That's my contact information. If anyone has any questions, needs anything, slides, recruits, anything you got, that's my contact, so you feel free to send it over. Thank you.